Barbers, hairdressers of Reddit. How exactly do you want customers to communicate what they want to you? What do they say? Do that is unhelpful. I get my hair cut by an old Eastern European man named Boris. I walk in, sit down, say hello. He asks me, how do you want your hair? Short? I say, yes, short, tapered back or square. Tapered please. Okay. We say nothing more to one another and my hair is perfect 15 minutes later. I love my barber. I want to meet Boris. I just told you everything I know about him. It's great. This exchange had the most Ron Swanson type of ring to it. We still never talk sometimes. Anytime I get a haircut I really like, I ask, what would I say to get this exact cut again? I did that actually. His response was 3 on the side and I thought that can't be all, but dude manages to give me a solid cut each time. I drive clear across town to see him. I'm actually in the waiting room right now about to utter those words. That's mine too. 3 on the sides. Blend it up. I went a little further this time after reading this thread. 3 on the sides. Fade up the back. No square hairline. Scissors on top. Leave 2 inches or so. I'm pretty happy with it. Pick. After a really good haircut, I asked the barber what I should ask for next time. She said, number 4. So I go into the same shop a couple months later. Hair's pretty long at this point. Get a different stylist. And she asks me what I want. Number 4. I say, all over? She asks, of course. I reply, really? You sure? Yeah? Okay, she says, and runs the clippers straight down the middle of my head, from front to back. That's when I realized that a number 4 was a clipper size, and not a style of haircut off a menu. You're doing important work here. Up. If someone cutting my hair asks you sure, I would cease being sure. At that point there would be a chat to make sure we're on the same page. And if we didn't get there I'd probably walk. If anyone ever asks me that question and it's not something I know for an absolute fact, I cease being sure. Never be embarrassed simply because you don't know something that people get trained in. Now if you really love having your hair washed and want it to last 5 minutes, oh God, please. How do you ask for that without sounding like a creep? You go to the really nice places that give you a scalp massage while you wait for the stylist. So great. This? Remember to tip the person washing your hair. They remember when you come in and do an extra good job. As someone that used to do this job, we do remember. This one lady quite liked me and would always tip well and say he knows I like it rough. Christ, I would get so embarrassed. I really like having my hair washed by a dude. Maybe it's that their hands are larger? It's so much more satisfying for me. Same thing with hand jobs. Side question. What am I supposed to say when you show me the back of my head? Ha ha ha, exactly. Yep, that's my head right there. Thanks. I always go, because there is a bald spot. I said just a trim. Related question. How do I say I don't trust myself to make decisions about what will make my potato face look good? Can I just leave that to your experimentation? In my experience, if you go into a decent salon and give them free rein, it always comes out well. You sometimes have to convince them that you really will be happy with whatever they do, but they are usually excited at having the artistic freedom. Sometimes they consult a coworker. I've never had one seem at all bothered by this. I tell them something like, I don't want any particular style, I just want to look nice. You're a pro and I'm sure you know much better than me what to do with this mess. I have never received a bad haircut with this method at a salon. Can't say I recommend it at a barber, though they do not seem very interested in this in my experience. A couple of times I got some bold styles that I was unsure of at first, but each time I got compliments, so I stopped worrying. You usually will have to learn to use some products with this method though. Be warned. I've always done this. I tell them I'm a fashionably conservative dude and they're the expert, so I'm looking for them to sort me out. Usually they'll tell me what they're thinking. Let's do this and that and leave this however, etc. And I tell them this sounds great. My haircuts got a lot better when I started going to better salons and just letting them do their thing. Not a barber/hairdresser, but I have a question for them. If I take a picture of a haircut in with me and tell them to cut my hair like that, and they cut my hair much shorter and tell me that my hair will grow into the picture haircut, does that mean that the hairdresser fricked up my haircut and is lying to me? I work in the TV industry. The week before my wedding I asked an actor on a show I was working on if I could take some pictures of his head. A slightly odd request. Until I fully explained. He let me, then said I should just go to his hair and makeup trailer and have Susie do it. I saved $100 and got the haircut I wanted. I once walked up to a stranger in a restaurant and said, "I'm sorry if this is weird, but you have the exact haircut I want." but don't know how to describe to my stylist. Does that haircut have a name? Also, would you mind if I took pictures of your hair to show the next time I go in? She was flattered and happily let me take pictures, as she didn't know how to describe it. Her stylist had just been giving her the cut for a long time. When I showed my hair person my next appointment, she said, "Oh, that's what you want. I get it now." She then gave me the words to describe it. For future reference. Sweet that you were able to go straight to Susie. Have an idea of what you want. Any good barber will ask questions and explain to you any problems you may have if your hair won't work well with the cut you want. Don't be afraid to communicate. In this day and age, pictures are great and easy to start from. Unhelpful, just cut it, or showing me 5 pictures of Brad Pitt all with different hairstyles and saying my wife wants this. That's great, champ, but I just work with hair, I can't give you Brad Pitt's face. That's great, champ, but I just work with hair, I can't give you Brad Pitt's face. Hey man, I came all the way down to Fleet Street to see you, because I figured you could deliver on this. The point is, I don't know which style fits for me. I guess guys feel same way. I'm a woman and I also don't know what works for me. I have had the same basic hairstyle for 12 years now, because I genuinely don't know what I want. But when I ask stylists, they suggest wild and crazy things that don't fit with my life. Like, I tell them about my style and personality and job and they're like, cool. So let's give you a rainbow mohawk and skull tattoos, and I have no idea where they got that from. As a woman, I feel like I'm supposed to know a lot about hair care and what style I want. I have no idea what to do with my hair. I want a hairstylist to help me figure it out. That's why I'm paying for this, and that's why they went to hairdressing school. I literally have no idea how hair works. Hijacking this thread to tell barbers who are cool with no small talk. Thank you. I've gotten better. But 20 minutes of peace and quiet while getting a haircut is nice compared to my bad attempts at small talk. Questions regarding the cut are okay, of course. As a hairdresser, I like my clients to be realistic. Please don't come in looking like Mama June. Show me a photo of Kim Kardashian and hoping to come out looking like Kate Moss. Come in with an idea of what you would like, how much you are willing to pay, and ask questions about upkeep and maintenance. Ask your hairdresser what they think will suit your hair type, skin tone and face shape. Be forthright and set boundaries on length, fringes, etc. Don't be afraid to cut. See what I did there? Ian. And ask questions and raise concerns during consultation and the treatment. I used to go to a relatively higher-end place. I cut my own hair now. I tend to look decent with almost any cut. So I would go in and ask my stylist to feel free to use their creativity and do what they want, as long as it suited my face. I know as an artist I'd love that freedom, but wasn't sure if it was the same for them. Was I being annoying? Is it realistic to bring like old photos and ask for similar haircuts that I had back then? Of course. Would you consider it rude? I told you I had an anxiety disorder and did not like to chat to people I didn't know, so I'd like you just to cut my hair without engaging with one another? I've had a few people ask it in the initial consultation and it's never been an issue. I've always had good luck with explaining my lifestyle, level of commitment to maintaining my hair, a general length I wanted, and going from there. Usually if I say something like, okay, I work a manual labor job so it has to stay long enough to go in a ponytail or bun, and I generally don't take the time to do much more with it. I think I'd like the ends trimmed and some longer layers, please. Side note, the last haircut I got, I think the hairdresser slipped or something and cut a random section on the side of my head down to like 4 inches. My hair is down to my waist, so now there is a weird patch that has to be pinned back, because it won't reach my bun. Should I have brought this up with her? It's not like anything could be done to fix it once it is cut off. Yes, absolutely. This is our livelihood, and most educated and successful hairdressers would like to know if they fricked up. That's how we learn and get better. Now I have been doing hair long enough to know if I made a mistake that drastic, there's a good chance the person cutting your hair realized what they did and tried to pretend like it didn't happen, which is extremely annoying. Sorry that happened to you, man. I had a haircut yesterday where I asked for long layers and it made the hairdresser nervous for some reason. I think the layers are maybe a 1/4 inch. I even asked her to lengthen them and she did nothing about it. Said she didn't want them to be too long. Plus she did a straight cut. And I don't know how to ask for it to be cut at those tiny angles that don't make it look like you just chopped it all off. Lady, my hair gets these gorgeous loose curls when I have long layers. And right now I have the awkward early 20s Jewish girl look going on. I mean, I am all those things, but I didn't want to advertise it. I'm not a hairdresser, by a daughter of one that hears all her complaints when she's done with work. Don't just show a picture and expect you to look like the picture. Your face, hair condition and history will impact how the cut looks on you. Don't lie about your hair history. A professional can see right through your lies. If you DIY, don't deny it. Colors don't just appear like they do on paper. Color undertones are everything. Don't expect to get the exact color you want, or even worse, expecting it to be done all in one day. Unless you want to damage your hair and sit here for 12 hours, you're going to have to do it in steps. Hair history? I'm assuming it's things like dyeing hair,